For the second straight game, the Pittsburgh Pirates lose by the same score, 6-3. Now they need a win on Sunday to avoid a sweep of the Atlanta Braves, which would certainly be not the best way to end a road trip. They took 2 or 3 against Houston. They'll play their last one here against the Braves on Sunday. Um, Biggest news out of it, we'll go with it. We'll go and get this out the way. Brandon Lowe, hurt, injured, took fouled a pitch off his knee. No word on the how extensive it's going to be, but that's already a not great game. Turns even worse. Anytime I see something like that, it takes me back to the many years ago, where Jermaine Dye took that foul ball off the kneecap and broke his leg. He had to be carried off. I'm not sure if that's it. That's not me comparing it, saying the same thing or anything like that. But anytime someone takes a foul ball off like that, it automatically takes me back to that. Hopefully the injury isn't too serious. Lau obviously has been such an important part of what the Pirates have done this season. Losing him for any amount of time is really going to put a dent in the lineup, as we saw a little bit with Ryan O'Hearn and when he missed time. Outside of that, I think the biggest thing here is the rotation in quite a little bit of a slump right now. Now, with the game done on Saturday, the entire rotation, they've gone through one time through the rotation on this road trip. And, I mean, a lot of this is the last 2 games with Mitch and Ashcraft. Obviously, Jared Jones put up 5 shutout innings in his start, which is good because if you were to take that out of the equation, these numbers would look a lot worse. So in the last 5 games, the rotations have allowed 19 earned runs on 35 hits and 8 walks over 24 in the third inning. That's a 7.02 ERA. Now, I think in most situations, maybe there's a little bit of cause to panic. I mean, 5 games out of 162, I think slumps like this are going to happen. Everyone's going to kind of go through stuff. To see it through an entire time through a rotation, that's unfortunate. We'll see. Bubba Chandler's going to get a chance to kind of get things going as they get ready to head home. But a lot of I think the outside of the ERA, which isn't good, I think the thing that's going to stand out the most here is the workload here. No one worked more than 5 innings. Bubba, Jones, and Ashcraft all pitched exactly 5 innings. Mitch didn't get out of the 5th. Skeens didn't get out of the 5th. And when you're already talking about a pretty taxed bullpen, these are the kind of numbers that does that. And then you add on top of the fact that the rotation hasn't been great, and it's supposed to be the strength of your team. I mean, clearly that's going to be a big part of the. You're going to struggle if the best part of your team isn't doing what you need them to do, if they're not being the best part of your team. So we'll see if they can bounce back. Now I'm going to shift over to the minor league side. Again, full slate of games all the way down to the rookie leagues. AAA, they had a lead going into the 9th inning. They blow the lead and they eventually lose 6-4. Billy Cook 2 for 4 with the stolen base. Esmeralda Valdez another home run. His 12th of the season. He went 1 for 4 with a walk and the home run. Tamar Johnson, like I said, he had a couple of home runs, and it's going to be hard to dig himself out of the hole statistically. So at some point you kind of just put the rough start aside and kind of maybe start a clean slate for him. We're coming up on to the quote unquote halfway mark for everything. So throw out what he did before. He went 2 for 4 with a walk, a double, and an RBI. So we'll kind of see, like he had a couple of home runs in a couple of days span. Now a multi-hit game. We'll see if he could kind of, get things going here. Altoona, they lose 9-8 in extra innings as well. They had a lead going into they had a pretty good, comfortable lead going into like the 6th or 7th, and New Hampshire kind of slowly chipped away at it, and then New Hampshire wins in extra innings. Keiner Delgado, 2 for 5, 2 runs, 2 RBIs, a walk, a double, stolen base. Like I said, I mentioned this the other day. He's having a really under the radar, solid season, especially compared to some of the other AA hitters that probably a lot more recognizable or more notoriety. Lonnie White Jr., 2 for 4, 2 runs, RBI, walk, stolen base. Down in Asheville, Greensboro wins 15-4. It's the amount of runs they've scored this week, and like I could probably fill up an entire page of their top performers and stuff like that. But Jared Jones, 4 for 4, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 2 walks. Gets on base 6 times. Great start to the season for him. The contact rate still kind of a little bit low. He's not swinging and missing as much. The strikeout rate is down. And he's batting over 300. He was drafted kind of our dart throw. He's got major league caliber power. It's just let's see if he can figure out the hit tool, and like if he figures out the hit tool with that power he has, now you're cooking a little bit. Now again, this especially Asheville, it's not hard to send one out in Asheville. So like maybe the power numbers and that kind of stuff, you can kind of look past. You want to kind of look past to make sure you're not getting too overly excited on it. But it's the 4 for 4. It's the 320 batting, 320-ish batting average. The contact rate coming up, and the swing and strike rate staying kind of lower, borderline kind of thing. Carlos Caro, 3 for 5, 2 runs and a double. He was only in the game because Wyatt Sanford, who led off the game, was hit by a pitch, and I have to go back and see like where and what happened and all that stuff. I missed for the first inning. He was pulled from the game immediately. Well, that'll be something to keep an eye on. He's having a fantastic year. There's some contact issues with it, all that doesn't matter here at that point. What matters is he was hit by a pitch and he left the game. We'll see if we get word to see what's going on and how he's doing. Murph Gray, 2 for 5 with an RBI, a double, and a walk. Kyle Robinson, acquired in the trade for Alika Williams, 5 innings pitched, 8 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Down on the complex, Pirates win 7-2. Braylon Brazoban, 1 for 4, 2 RBIs, and a triple. I saw John Drecker, he posted this on Twitter. Fun little stat line here. Raymond Mola, 0 for 0, no official at-bats. But he had scored 3 runs because he walked twice, 3 stolen bases. I kind of replied to it, if you ever want an example of just the kind of craziness that you get sometimes from the complex league games, that's it. You don't always get some runs scored the traditional way. There's a lot of crazy stuff that happens, and that stat line kind of speaks to that. Frederick Ovalle, 2 for 3 with an RBI. Jack Brannigan, he's back up. He's rehabbing right now. He hit a home run. A couple interesting pitchers pitched today. Robinson Smith, 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Saw him while I was down there. Pitched 2 innings, pretty efficient. Threw mostly fastballs, mixed in a couple curveballs. I'll have a video of him up some. I kind of want to eventually kind of dig a little bit deeper into him. But he's a very interesting arm. Kind of starting, looks like he's getting settled. Pitched pretty deep here. Pitched 4 innings. Struck out 4. Fastball got up to about like 94, 95, maybe even touched to 96. Very projectable frame. He's tall. It looks like he can definitely add a little muscle to the frame, and with that, you're kind of hoping maybe even the velocity will tick up a little bit. Maybe he could start, sitting mid-90s, touching the upper 90s. But definitely, with the talk about the Pirates' development, how they've been able to develop pitchers, I think he's a very intriguing piece to follow over the next couple of years. It'd be really interesting. He was I was kind of surprised that he made the jump stateside, but now that he's here, you can kind of seeing things kind of coming together for him, and it'll be kind of interesting to see if he'll get a look at some point in Bradenton to close out the year, and then I'd imagine he'd start there next year. McLean Moody pitched 2 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, only 1 earned. Biggest thing here, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Walks have been a very, very big issue for him early on. So bad, and I'm pulling up the edit numbers here. It's really affected everything because his ERA is over 12 right now, and he has 15 walks in 5 2/3. Kind of knew that he was going to be a little bit of a project. Big frame, 6'7". Sometimes with those guys, it takes them a couple years to kind of get the long limbs and all that kind of stuff working in the right direction together. And I guess the kind of hope is that once everything's kind of moving together the right way, that everything kind of just clicks. Because the fastball showed a lot of outlier traits. I would imagine, kind of like Robinson Smith, that you'll get some extra velo too down the road as he starts to fill out. But we skip Braden. Bradenton won 4-1. Eddie Reinders hit a home run. He's shown some flashes after that really bad start that he had, but the strikeouts are another thing, kind of like Tamar. At some point, maybe you kind of want to just wash out the bad start and kind of just start anew. Sammy Stafora, 2 for 4 with a double and an RBI. Gina Martinez, 6 innings pitched, no runs, 3 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. He's interesting because the slider's pretty good, and it's just kind of been it's kind of been a completely different profile than the guy that what you read whenever the Pirates acquired him from the Mariners. Then it was like an upper 90s fastball with the good slider, and it was finding control. Still issues with control. He only walked 1 on Saturday, so that's good. But the fastballs are like in the low 90s now, and the shapes aren't great. So it's kind of like at best you're kind of it's hoping for some sort of like sinker slider, middle relief kind of thing. But even then, with the fastballs and like the averaging 91, 92, just with below average control, that's just kind of tough to project down the road. Now going down to the Dominican, Wilton Guerrero went 2 for 3 with 2 doubles and a walk. One of the doubles, his first, when he led off the bottom of the first, he actually slipped at first base and was still able to get up and be. And he connected pretty. Both of the exit velocities were right under 100 miles an hour. Kind of like I mentioned, he's kind of gives like a right-handed Johan De Los Santos kind of vibe as far as like frame and profile and stuff like that. So I don't know how much more power he's going to add on, but the speed is really good, and everything's like quick. The bat speed's quick. It looks very athletic in the box. So very, very exciting young guy to kind of watch. Gilbert Ramirez, another first-year pro, 1 for 2, 2 RBIs, a double. And then Angel Nieto, 1 for 3, 2 RBIs, a walk, a double, and a stolen base. Rookie League Ball, they'll be off on Sunday, so we'll just have the full season affiliates and the Pirates play. I'll do another rundown on here. I guess the only days that I won't be doing this probably will be like Tuesday morning when Nola takes over the morning article to kind of give like the weekly preview. Kind of give me time to kind of plan stuff out for the week. Still trying to find the best way to kind of format this because I really want this to be kind of a recap of the night before, but also I want to still be able to kind of dive into some other stuff as well. Check out the YouTube channel. Got more videos posting every day on there. Gonna have at least 1 or 2 long form videos next week. Have a little bit of a surprise at the beginning of the week. Won't spoil it just yet, but you'll know it whenever you see it or hear about it. The Sunday feature, I'll have a look at some of the early names to take a look at for the draft that's like a month and a half out. I'm gonna get ready to start like my diving a little bit deep on there. So, once the week of the draft, I'll be able to go in even further because I've been able to watch some video on them and then also go some like non-first round picks. But that's going to do it for today's show. We'll catch you guys tomorrow with another episode.